welcome to 100 Nights of Taps Gettysburg 2017 on this evening of June 6th, 2017. My name is Stephen Herr and I serve as the president of the Lincoln Fellowship of Pennsylvania, and I'd like to introduce Wendy Allen, who is the vice president of the Lincoln Fellowship of Pennsylvania, who along with our guest bugler tonight, Yari Villanueva, are really the co-founders and the brains behind this program. So I want to thank Wendy and Yari for all of their work. The 100 Nights of Taps Gettysburg 2017 is sponsored by the Lincoln Fellowship of Pennsylvania in partnership with Taps for Veterans and the Gettysburg National Military Park. Tonight's bugler is the esteemed Yari Villanueva. Yari retired from the United States Air Force, where he spent 23 years with the United States Air Force Band in Washington, D.C. He is considered the country's foremost expert on military bugle calls, particularly the call of taps, which is sounded at military funerals. There is much good to say about Yari, but I will suffice to say that 100 Nights of Taps would not be possible without his kind attitude and generous support, and that also of Wendy's. We stand here this evening amidst the graves of those Americans who gave the last full measure of devotion so that our country might remain free and united. 81 years later, a battle took place on this date that helped keep the world free. And as in that struggle that took place here in Gettysburg, boys from Pennsylvania fought and struggled, many who would make the supreme sacrifice for our nation as they waded ashore at Normandy. So it is fitting and proper we gather here on this date to remember that day as well.
On the night before the invasion, General Eisenhower issued his orders, Supreme Headquarters, Allied Expeditionary Force. Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon a great crusade toward which you have striven these many years. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hope and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers-in-arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940 and 1941. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle, man-to-man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon the great and noble undertaking. As we stand here, we should note that this cemetery, dedicated in 1863, became a final resting place for our military members, not only for those of the Civil War veterans, but also for those who died in wars that followed. A project has been underway to uncover and present the stories of American soldiers killed in World War II who are now buried here. In particular, resting near where we are standing and overlooked by many visitors are 11 who fell in the D-Day landings, along with others, hundreds of others, who died in World War II. All were young men from Pennsylvania. All died June 6, 1944. Private William J. Copeland, Westmoreland County. Technician 5th grade, Joseph Fetish, Hudson County. Private First Class Forrest F. Rice, Berks County. Private First Class Alfred A. Augenstein, Allegheny County. Private Howard R. Nutt, Fayette County. Frank J. Kavlowski, Somerset County. Private First Class George Anthony Hahn, Allegheny County. Staff Sergeant William C. Laffin, Clinton County. Private First Class Clarice L. Riggs, Cambria County. Private First Class Byron L. Stanton, Northumberland County. It is to these men and all those who gave the last full measure of devotion, so that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, shall not perish from the earth, that we sound the call of taps tonight.
Concludes our 100 Nights of Taps Gettysburg 2017 program. We want to thank you for joining us. We also hope that you will join us again this year on November 19th, Sunday, November 19th, as the Lincoln Fellowship of Pennsylvania, along with our partners, Gettysburg College, Gettysburg Foundation, and also the Gettysburg National Military Park, hosts a program on Dedication Day to remember the dedication of this cemetery and the words of Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
One more thing. One more thing. I'd like you to hold your applause just for one moment. I'd like to bring Charlie Berry up. He has a wonderful artifact from World War II he'd like to share with the audience tonight.
Thank you, Charlie. My name's Charlie Berry. I'm a local resident. I live in Gettysburg. I served in the 29th Division for over 20 years. The 29th Division was one of the divisions that spearheaded the landings on Omaha Beach. I joined the association, the 29th Infantry Association, when I was 17. That gave me the opportunity over many, many years to talk to a lot of these veterans. I had the great opportunity on several occasions to walk Omaha Beach with those guys. And throughout the years, as they passed on, I wound up with a lot of their artifacts. The letter that was read today, Eisenhower's orders, was issued to every soldier, sailor, and airman who participated in the landings. A lot of them didn't last past the landings because of the water and environment. But I was lucky enough to get one in my collection, and anyone who wants to see it can come up and take a look at it. You can actually hold an actual copy that was issued to all those brave soldiers, sailors, and airmen that participated that day. What's unique about this one here, it has on it June 6th, and this soldier's writing, 1944, will I make it? Underneath of that, it says 1945, May 8th, I did. So he was lucky enough to survive. I just want to say one more thing. I just want to let you know a little bit about the feeling the first time that I set foot on Omaha Beach with those veterans. And I stood there and looked at the bluffs, the cliffs, the bunkers, the trenches, the low tide, several football fields of flat land, and I realized how small I really was. Standing there with those guys, I knew that I would never, ever be able to pay those guys back, no matter how hard I tried. So it makes me feel really good seeing people like you out here for tonight, because we can't forget those guys. I know a lot of them. They're unbelievable, and they were the greatest generation. So anybody wants to see this can come up and take a look. Thank you.
Charlie. Thank you, Yari, and thank you all for coming.